You are listening to Christian Audio's production of Nobody's Cuter Than You, a memoir about the beauty of friendship by Melanie Shankle. This book is read by Melanie Shankle. This audio recording was produced in 2015 by Christian Audio, which owns the copyright. No portion of this recording may be reproduced for any reason without prior written consent from Christian Audio. This edition issued by contractual arrangement with Tyndale House Publishers. Originally published in English as Nobody's Cuter Than You, a memoir about the beauty of friendship. Copyright 2015 by Melanie Shankle. All rights reserved. Please visit christianaudio.com, facebook.com/christianaudio, or twitter.com/christianaudio to offer your impressions of this work and to explore additional titles.
Author's note. I will not even pretend like I've remembered all the events in this book exactly as they occurred. Many years have passed since some of the events happened, and, true story, I forgot to pick up my daughter's friend for a soccer game yesterday. It's safe to say that total recall of 40-plus years of life is probably not my gift. However, I have done my best to piece together memories and conversations to the best of my ability, although some names and places have been changed to protect people who may not necessarily want part of their life story told in my little book. But I've stayed true to the story of all that my friends have meant to me and how they have all been a gift in my life. I'm thankful for every bit of it, even the tough parts. To all the friends I've had over the course of my life, you've made life richer, better, and brighter than I ever dreamed. To Tiff, who showed me what it means to follow your heart. To Jen, who has always been like the North Star pointing the way. And most of all, to Gully. If you live to be 100, I want to live to be 100 minus one day so I never have to live without you. Amen. Introduction. A friend is one that knows you as you are, understands where you have been, accepts what you have become, and still gently allows you to grow. Author unknown. I have to be honest and confess that I'd planned to write a completely different book than this one. I'd even signed a contract for it and everything. But then, because I am daring and madcap and fly by the seat of my pants, I totally changed direction and decided to write a book about friendship instead. It also may have helped that I visited my publisher a few weeks ago, and in the middle of our meeting, they said, "Hey, why don't you write a book about friendship?" And I said, "Okay." Of course, this could be because I'd just suggested that perhaps I should write a book called Barley and Me, the story of a dog that fought in World War II, died, went to heaven, and came back to tell about it. I chose that title based on extensive research I did at my local bookstore, where I realized that the majority of best-selling books are about three things: someone's dog, a person who fought in World War II, someone who has gone to heaven and come back to life. I guess in all fairness, I could have had a chance at similar success if I wrote a fiction book for teenage girls about vampires or various factions in a dystopian society, or tributes being forced to fight to the death in an arena. But I'm not that creative and really don't have the time because I'm too busy figuring out how to braid my hair like Katniss Everdeen. Here's what I've learned from that. You can pin all the pins on Pinterest, but that doesn't mean that hairstyle is actually going to happen. Ultimately, a book about friendship seemed to make the most sense. Even when I was writing The Antelope in the Living Room, a memoir about marriage, my husband Perry told someone, what she needs to write next is a book called Gully and Mel, the real love story. A few months ago, my daughter Caroline curled up next to me on the couch after a day of school that had left her tired and frustrated. She began to tell me about some of the girl drama going on in the 5th grade and that she just wasn't sure who she could trust and who her real friends were. We talked through it, and I wiped her tears as she let out a big sigh, saying, "I just haven't met my Gully yet." And it made me want to cry because one of the things I want most for Caroline to know is the beauty of female friendship and what it adds to our lives. We need those people who will listen to our stories and hold our hands as we go through heartbreak and joy and try to figure out all that life throws our way. Those loyal soldiers who will defend us and stand with us when times get hard and it feels like the world is against us. The women we can surround ourselves with, knowing that without a doubt our names and our hearts are safe on their tongues and in their hands. So yes, this book is about my friendship with my best friend Gully and how we've managed to sustain our friendship over the last 25 years. But it's more than that. It's about all the friendships we as women develop over a lifetime and the influence they have over who we were, who we are, and who we will become. It's about the friends who wounded us and the ones who taught us to love better. Here's the thing. It seems that over the last couple of decades we've
Sample complete. Ready to continue?